Hey, I'm here at the Creative Music Center in Monroe, where they don't just have any old band camp, it's rock camp. It all starts here at Rock Camp inside their large performance room, and joining me is the Director of Rock, Grant Ossendryver.
Hi. How are you?
Thank you for joining us.
Great to be here.
I'm so
Thanks.
excited. Grant, I know you're a musician of various genres of music. Tell me a little bit more about your background and how you got involved in Rock Camp.
Well, I've been playing music through most of my life, and if I look back in the history of music and where rock and roll actually came from the blues, and then bringing in some jazz, and you look at the history of what the Beatles brought to the table, you realize that it's really the feeling behind rock and the different styles that actually can create a great rock song. And there's definitely a lot of layers to conquer with music, and that's the part that I find challenging, and also exploring music and everything. So it all comes together today with rock music, and it's good to have, it's always been my goal, is to have different technical abilities to play just different styles even within the rock realm.
You know, if I hear the word band, probably like most people, I think guitar, I think drums. What are some of the other instruments that you use here at the camp?
That's a great question. Last summer we actually did, and I was really proud of this, we did I Am the Walrus. We featured that with violin on top of that. And we've worked with other various instruments, like kids come in here, they bring harmonicas, and I'm constantly amazed at, you hear these different instruments and you're going, wow, that sounds really good. Because it's not like your classic, power chord and everything like that. So there's all these other elements. We've worked with cello players, saxophone players, and when they're actually coming in and playing, it adds so much to the whole mix. So not to say that like guitar isn't a great instrument, great rock instrument, because it is, of course, very important. But keyboards are important, drums are important, piano's important, and that's the great thing about great rock music, is that it's not all the same. There's elements that change within that. Keeps it exciting.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that, and I'm sure years from now, children are going to remember what they learned here. How will the training here help them down the road musically?
It'll help them tremendously. I mean, just seeing what they go through, the process they go through in learning songs, because we do actually album programs here where they learn an album from beginning to end, and we don't cut through pieces and say, oh, that song's too hard, we're going to leave that one out. We actually, include that and work out arrangements with it. So they have a whole process to go through, and at the end of it, when they actually play it, they become really, really confident, and you could see it actually in their eyes, after everything's done. Not only that, but just focusing on everything they need to focus on, putting all the pieces together. It's just like a play, a performance, where you have all these different parts, and it's not until the very end where it all comes together, where you get to see like everything, like a story from beginning to end. And actually having the thought behind that and the concentration behind that, and putting that all together, is a lot. It's a lot to put together. So they really get confidence on a lot of different levels.
Some of the students, they come here with experience, others do not. How are they all handling stage fright?
That's a big thing. Kids who are playing, especially for their first time going out there, sometimes they're nervous, sometimes not, but sometimes very nervous, and that's understandable, every time. So often what I'll do is I'll go up to them and say, hey, are you nervous? What are you thinking about this? And usually they'll go, yeah. So part of this whole process is that they get to go out there, do it, and then we actually do several shows too. So they'll go out there and they'll do it again, and you just see every show their confidence, their ability to kind of hold back, kind of going and just fading away, and you just see them confidence to just play music, and that's what they're there for. And the whole thing is, at that point, then they realize, like, wow, I did this. And it carries over into their whole life, and that's what I love about it. It's not just about the music. They go, I could just imagine them going back in school, the following week after they've done that, and just prancing through the halls and say, yeah, I did that. Almost like it's just like a sports team or something. You went up there and won. But 75% of it is going out there and just trying, and that's what I say to them. That's the big thing.
Are there any special highlights or memorable, funny performances that stand out in your mind? Maybe a graduate who went on to pursue music full time?
Well, there's so many great moments, and I like to think every kid has got a personality on his own, and they really do, and they have their own moments. You know, I think one of the most memorable moments that I can think of right now is we did Dark Side of the Moon from start to finish, and when the kids were playing, they had the opportunity to play not just along with themselves, but with pre-recorded material, you know, with clocks ringing and airplanes flying down and people talking, and they had to learn the music around that. So technology was really their leader at that point. We were like fixed on the video screen, and they had to do start songs at a certain point in time, and they couldn't just stare at the screen, right? So they kind of had to look at it the corner of their eye as a cue. So we would practice that over and over again. So there was a lot of different techniques that they came away with. But the best part about that was the third show, when it all really came together, where everybody was confident, and it became really smooth. And when everybody looked around, you know, we filmed it, and you could see like everybody looking around like, wow, that was so cool, because it's just like a play. You don't really see it until you're actually doing the performance. You see every little part of it, every little, you know, mini part of this scene and that scene, and that's how they learned it. And all of a sudden, with dress rehearsals, we put it all together, and then by the time we did it from start to finish, it was really a great moment. And I know it's something that they'll never forget. I'll never forget it too.
Well, what a great experience for kids. Grant, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks.
Gosh, I wish I had rock camp when I was a kid. I want to say thank you to Grant Ossendryver and the Creative Music Center of Monroe. I'm halfway to being a rock star. Back to you.